Hey everybody, welcome to another video. I've been on a Doctor Who kick lately, as you can tell, as well as an Ace Frehley kick. Sorry, as soon as I start recording, my voice gets all weird. But anyways, so I remember I was, the role-playing game that I got off of Noble Knight Games, and then I got those two novels, those two Target novels, The Face of Evil, The Talons of Wang Tan. I finally did this one. Actually, finally came in the mail too. It's The Invasion of Time, which is, I believe, the last Leela episode, where they're on Gallifrey. So I don't have them all yet. I'm collecting these specifically, and not all of them, or maybe all of them. I think most of them that I can see are Tom Baker books, which I would love to just get all the Tom Baker books. But specifically, before I get any of them, I'm going to start with my favorite 9 episodes, which of course, not because of the story, although I like the story in most of them, but of course, as you know, my favorite 9 episodes are the 9 Leela episodes, or Leela stories, I guess. Episodes, I guess they break them up into the parts. I was looking, I'm trying to find a decent DVD. It doesn't have to be the Blu-ray. Sure, it's fine if it is the Blu-ray. And I know they have the Fourth Doctor Blu-rays, but I don't understand how they're broken up. And Amazon does a terrible way of explaining them. It says you've got, it's like the Fourth Doctor, a complete Season 1. What? I mean the first season that the Fourth Doctor's in? That's what I'm assuming they mean. And then I look in there, and it's just like, it doesn't say the episodes. I'm like, okay, are they assuming they start with the Tom Baker episodes? And which is season, what, 12, I think? I can't remember off the top of my head. And then it goes, and then there's like a complete series box set 2, or, DVD, Blu-ray 2. But they don't say what episodes are in it in any of the descriptions, and I can't find it. I mean, I guess if I really looked, I could probably find it, but for now I can't really find any of the, want to know what episodes. I want the Leela episodes. It would be nice to have them in their, their best possible format. I have a Blu-ray player so I can play them, but I'll be happy with just the DVDs. And really, I would like to have just the DVDs. There was a bunch of these put out like in the early 2000s, and I've seen some of them, and they're not badly priced. You can get them on eBay, and some of them are even on Amazon, and they're about right around $10 a piece. And they're the actual. It's just like the one DVD is just whatever, Face of Evil, right? Or whatever. And I believe they have 2 different. They have like a 2002 version of it, and then I think they have like a 2006 printing of it, like a second printing. I would like to get consistently all 9 episodes in the same series, like all the 2002s or all the 2006s, but regardless, I would like to get those. So I'm going to look into those too. I haven't really pulled the trigger on them yet. I just ordered, I'll show you in a minute which ones I ordered, but I ordered 4 more of the episodes of the books I found on thriftbooks.com. Thriftbooks.com. I feel like I'm in like thriftbooks.com, Noble Knight Games. It's like all the stuff that, and now of course all that stuff pops up in my, even on my big TV, it pops up as far as all the commercials on YouTube and everything. So, because the algorithms are their big brother's watching me. So now I've got, they're giving me ads. Here's the thing. It's just like, you didn't think the algorithm would be smart enough to know, hey, stop giving me the commercial. I understand, Noble Knight Games, the greatest, the biggest collection of used, role-playing games and games or whatever. Okay, I know that. I've ordered from you, so you can stop advertising me. It's not like it makes me want to say, oh, there's that ad again. I think I'm going to go order from them. No. Do they have what I want? No. Okay, I'm not going to order. Do they have it? Yes. All right, I'm going to order. It's that simple. Do they know what I want? Oof, well, I don't know if they follow my internet activity. They realize I'm freaking out of my mind, but so maybe they can't figure it out. Yeah, so anyways, I found 4 more of the Target books on thriftbook.com. So the 2 that seem to be hard to find are, and I'll show them up here in a second, are the Robots of Death and the Sunmakers. Those seem to be the 2 books that are hard to find. I think the Sunmaker is on eBay for like $15. That's a little steep. The Robots of Death, I think also I found somewhere for like over 10. It's like the rest of these books I'm finding on thriftbook.com for like $5 or like 6, or $5.68. And you order 4 of them, and you get free shipping. And actually I had a free book discount, so I got 3, for 4 for the price of 3. So, that was less than like $20, or it was right around $20 with tax. It's like, okay, that's good. I don't want to spend $20 on one book. I mean, if I have to, I have to. I guess, extra $10 because I can't find it because it complete the collection. Sure, but I'd like to have them. Like I said, I'd like to have them, copies of them so I can, own them for my collection. I started reading Face of Evil. I think I'm on chapter 2. They kind of break chunks out, or it's like, like that episode, they introduce Leela and jeez, they're totally flipping, or they're totally escaping me. Not the Savatine. The Savatine, and then, where they have the trial of Leela before they banish her, and then there's a break. It's not the pages, the chapter didn't end, but like there's a break in the thing, and then they introduce when the TARDIS shows up. So I usually read it in chunks like that. I'll read up to like whatever break, and then I'll put a marker in there, and I'll read to the next one. However, I don't need to really read these now. Crack these open now. I can keep these in pristine position while I put it in these plastic sheets for now. I need to get like actual book sleeves, but I found online, and I'll show you here. Sorry, it's the afternoon. What can you do? I found these PDFs. I mean, you can actually download them as ebooks or PDFs or whatever. These all come from. If I get a second, I'll pull it up here because I've got a bookmark. These all come from thearchives.com or whatever it is. Whatever. If you just look up whatever you're looking for and put in archives, chances are it's going to pop up on the archives page, and you can just download the PDF version of it. And they've got every book. I didn't download them all right now because I'm only focusing on these 9 books. But obviously I got that one. And I'll show you. Let me crack it open here. I'll open it with. I don't like using Acrobat Explorer. It seems to crash on me a lot, so I've been using my comic book viewer because it also reads PDFs. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty. I mean, it's all nicely scanned in. Looks really really nice. How much are they? That's pounds, right? Or I don't remember how UK does their stuff. Pence or pence? Is it pence? 60 pence for this. It doesn't have a US price on here. New Zealand's $1.90. Look how nice it looks. I mean, that's pretty sweet. And the cool thing about these PDFs, if you are lazy, which I am totally lazy, there's a reader that you can get. You can put a nice British woman's voice, like Hazel. I put a British woman on my She Who Shall Go Unnamed over there. The little discs, that control all the Big Brother that's in my apartment here, my Internet of Things, and anyways. So, but I noticed there was in that one reader I got. There's a voice named Hazel. She has a sultry English accent. She doesn't sound as as nice as what's her face. The girl who plays Leela. Which her name's totally. There's too much information in my brain. I can't recall it all that much. That's why I have things written down, or I have things on reference so I can reference them. But anyways, yeah, she reads there's an audiobook of it. You can get the audiobook of it on Amazon. and I've heard like the excerpt of it. Sounds good, but you can just take it and throw it into that reader. Add Hazel's voice, because she has a sultry voice too, and she can read you a nice little sleepy time story before you go to bed. She can ASMR you to sleep with her sleepy time voice. Anyways, yeah. So I'll show you here. Just wonder. Yeah, 1978. I'm there's a it's a no-brainer. I mean, me pointing it out is actually kind of redundant, but I will anyways because I'm a redundant kind of person. Everything I like, it seems like, comes from a certain time period. Most of the time it's the 80s. However, I think a lot of this stuff, it seems like I'm really, really having nostalgic memories for more of the late 70s and into the early 80s. I mean, I know I'm doing the 1984 kind of, 40-year anniversaries of things, but, if I'm still doing this, I'll probably end up doing a 1978, anniversary, which will be the big 50-year anniversary. A lot of this stuff, it seems like I said, I have recollections of things that happened prior to 78, from 73 to 78. But I think most of my, love of things, with the exception of, so prior to 78, probably the things that really I was obsessed with as a very small child was the Batman TV show. I'm not going to say Star Trek. Star Trek was more 78, I guess, was when I started to really get into Star Trek, reruns of Star Trek. But I was really into... I guess I like the Mego dolls. And I like Batman. I mean, I like Batman everything. I not just Batman Adam West TV show, but like the Mego dolls. I had the big dolls. If you remember those, with like the magnets on the hands. The court cars. I mean, I don't know how many Batmobiles I had. A Batcopter was one of my favorites. And then of course those rack toys, like the parachute Batman. Plastic rack toy. You throw him from there, he comes out a parachute, and then they had all the Batmobiles. I had a lot of those Batmobiles and the Bat boats. I don't know how many I lost in Lake Orion there, in the right off the dock at my grandparents' house. Lost a lot of Batmobiles. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I have such fond memories for that time period. I would say 78 plus. Like I said, I mean, I remember 77. I remember seeing Star Wars in the theater, but I was perhaps 4. And all of my chunky memory of that comes from basically, I remember waiting outside forever to get in, and I remember I think my dad picked me up at one time. I was just hanging on to my dad because I couldn't stand for very long. And then I remember being in the theater. I remember the curtain, it had like a gold curtain in the Hills Theater. I remember it rising. I remember seeing the movie. Being both fascinated and scared out of my mind at the same time. But I would say 78 is really when it started. I mean, specifically, like maybe the end of 78, which is, or the beginning of 78, which we bought a house, the family house there. And the problem is the people who own the house, their kind of deal that they were going to move into, I think they're having a house built. And it got delayed, so they had to stay in the house longer. And my dad said that's fine. So we had to go. We already sold our house to the Wards, so we moved into my grandmother's creepy basement, which I lived for about 2.5 years when I was an adult. In my grandma's creepy basement, we lived in there for it's not even 6 months, like maybe 3 months, I guess. Basically in the winter and into the spring. And I remember those years pretty vividly. I remember watching the mini-series Holocaust in the basement there with my mom on the my TV. So I'm getting way off subject. But anyways, so yeah, 78 through, obviously into the 80s is, my nostalgic period time. And but I've been focusing on, it seems like, with the Kiss stuff and Doctor Who and other things that seem to be really hyper focusing on like that late 70s period. But anyways, where were we? Back to the book. Sorry, sorry. You know me. I'll go off on a tangent. The Outcast first chapter. So I just finished the Outcast. So yeah. So what I'll do is I'll read. This is that. So this is when they introduce Leela, and I'll read it up to. Where's the? Yeah, right here. So perhaps you could still do something for Leela after all. And then these little break. And then in a forest clearing not far away, a strange wheezing, groaning sound. We know that's the TARDIS. And then I picked back up from there. And then I read, the chunk up to, I think, here. And then it goes back to, that's with, what's-his-face. I think Leela's still there. Does it switch? I can't remember. Anyways, and then, of course, I'm not going to do this for every book, trust me, don't worry. But I remember, I think I actually bowled through this. I was just like, I'll just keep reading because it's just a page and a half left. And then finished up. And then so now we'll talk about the Invisibles Terror. I'm also rewatching the episodes again. I just watched them recently, but I'm going to watch them again. And I started at lunchtime today when it's taking a little break there and watched the first part. And so I'm going to watch all these 9 episodes again back to back because they're all on Tubi. So if you want to see any of these episodes, go to Tubi. It's free. It's got commercials, but it's free. I mean, you can, I think, sign up for like a premium account like you can with everything, but it is free. You can download it on your TV. If you got a smart TV, you can download it on your smart TV, download it on your tablet, your phone, your computer, yada yada, whatever, laptop, game system, and then you can watch it. So I've got Tubi in my room here under this. It's actually on my PlayStation 4 through that TV. It's a Samsung, and then the Samsung out there, I've got it on there, and I think I've got it on my tablet in case I'm on the go and I need to get myself a little Tubi. But I love Tubi. Tubi's got a lot of the good stuff on it, and they've got all the Doctor stuff. And I started to watch, I started watching them again. I also the other day actually, I think I started watching the first Sylvester McCoy. That was the Doctor I was trying to remember. Sylvester McCoy, which is the 8th Doctor. No. 7th Doctor. 7th Doctor. I watched the first episode just because that was like the one I remember watching that in high school when it aired over here. And what's her face? I actually really like Mel now that I watched that episode again. I used to think she was weird back then, but now I kind of actually like Mel. Sorry, let me just see. That is important. It does not look important. Okay. But yeah, so here's this. Like I said, I mean, these are pretty slick. They'll read too. The PDFs will usually read in. You can't select in here, but you can select in Adobe Photoshop. But these they're selectable. So what you pretty much do is, I think mine you just upload you open up the file, the PDF file in the reader, and it takes a second. It converts everything. And then it'll start reading it, and then you can save it as a readable file, and it'll already have pretty much mapped in most of the words. And for the most part, the pronunciations are pretty well. Like I said, Hazel does a very good job. Once in a while, some words get jumbled together, but I mean, you can still figure it out. So you can do that. You can make yourself your own audio books out of these, which is pretty cool. So, like I said, here's a hard one to find. Doctor Who, the Robots of Death. It's kind of a hard one to find, but I'll probably end up getting it sometime. I'll find it, but I can read it here. So what I've been doing is I put them all on my tablet. So if I can take all these PDFs. I got the same program in here to read it. Now, what I'll do now, instead of reading the books, I'll just read them off my tablet. I mean, it's bigger too. It's a little bit clearer. And if I want to, I can put the app on my tablet for the reader, and just have them read to me too. Like I said, a nice little sleepy time story by Hazel with Hazel. I'll just pretend it's Leela reading it. Anyways, I've got that one here, right there, and then I've got this one. Now, I got this one ordered. One of my favorite episodes of these 9, and so I've got this one ordered. I ordered 4. I got this one. I've got the image of, and the image of Fendal. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And sorry, let's see. Yeah, okay, I remember that one. All right, and then that one's hard to find. That one's probably the hardest to find. So I'll have to look for it. The Sunmaker. It's a great episode. The Underworld I ordered, and I also ordered Invasion of Time, the last episode, when we're on Gallifrey. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 coming. So I only need 2 books out of here to complete these 9, and I'll eventually get them. Like I said, but I've got them all. Regardless of if I have them or not, I can still read them or have them read to me. Put them all on my tablet. So, like I said, go on archives.com. Sorry, goodness, man, I get the serious case of the sleepy times in the afternoon. So let me go on here real quick. I don't know what's going on with my Google. I've probably downloaded so many viruses. Who knows? But let me go to. I think I have it saved under video. Novels. Okay. So if you go here, archive.org. There's, if you can see it, there's the address up top. But you can see on the side they'll have all the books, starting with the first book, which is the Giant Robot, which is the first episode of. I think it's just called Robots. Yeah, a robot. Which is the first book, first episode that's in the of season 12. They actually got them broken down. Season 12:01 here, which is kind of nice. And then. Like I said, then I pick up right here. I did know. So I pick up here. And, I mean, you don't have to download them if you want. You can just read them from here too if you want. They'll flip. That's a nice thing about Archive. And then down here you'll see like PDF. Here they are. What I would do if you're going to download a bunch of them, I don't know if there's a torrent. There might be a torrent on here. But you can just right-click and then just open them in a new tab and just do like a batch of like 5 of them or whatever you want to grab a bunch of them. But I believe that there's a torrent here. There usually is. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So there is a torrent file. You can download the torrent, and then if you have a torrent, if you have a BitTorrent or whatever, a torrent downloader, you can grab it. So you can get it as an e-publish, or e-book here. I believe ebooks, most ebook readers have built-in. Yeah, so you have to generate it though, and then it'll make it. It'll basically take this file and convert it. But a lot of ebook publisher like apps to read them actually have already built-in readers, so you can just use your built-in reader on your e-publisher. That's kind of nice too. But yeah, so you can get the books here, and I guess I can do a quick little, what's my favorite episode of these 9? Obviously the first one's, it's not great, but it's the first appearance of Leela, when you introduce her. I like that. She still has the brown eyes before she gets, whatever, blinded or whatever, and her eyes become blue. I don't know if you know the story. I told it before. They put contacts, they covered her with makeup to make her look dark complected, and then they put contacts in her to give her those dark brown eyes. And then of course she didn't like putting them in, or she had a reaction to them. This is if I can remember this. I just read this just recently, and so anyways, she didn't want to wear the contacts anymore, so they wrote it into the episode. She gets blinded, I think, and she gets blinded at the end of this one. She gets blinded in the Robots of Death. But pretty much right away, she gets a flash of light. She's like, "I can't see, Doctor," and then her eyes turn blue because they're back to her normal eye color. I don't know which one I like better. I like brown eyes and I like blue eyes. I don't know. I think she looks great both ways. So, is that my favorite? I don't know. I really liked Robots of Death. I thought that was a great episode. I really like this episode. I like that a lot. I like Fang Rock. The first four, I think, are probably my favorites. The Invisible Enemy, if I can remember which one that is. That one was kind of okay. Can't remember what happens in Invisible Enemy. I can't remember that's the one in the... I can't remember which one's the one, like the medieval one. That one was kind of, okay. Sunmakers is great. I would say Sunmakers is just as good as the first four. This one kind of like is like these other ones. There's the other ones very similar. They come across the ship with some people on it, and then again they come across the ship with some people on it. And I think in this one they come across the ship with some people on it. And of course the one where they go back to Gallifrey, which is pretty decent too. I don't know. I guess my favorite is probably gonna be... I'd say one of these three. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't have a favorite. I guess it's hard for me to rank them. I would definitely say probably my least favorite was probably one of these two. Possibly this one. Those three are my least favorites. And then up from there, I don't know. Do I like this one better? I don't know. Can't remember. I don't know. That's hard to... I'll make that decision again. This time I'll be a little more mindful of it and write down which ones as I go again and see which one's my favorite. But like I said, Tubi, you can get all of these episodes and watch them all. Archives, you can get all of these novels if you want them. Some people aren't really into that. I just like them because these books came out. They were at Rochester Book Center back in the day. And I remember seeing them there, and I was like, what is this Doctor Who? Well, I mean, actually I knew who the Doctor Who was, but the thing is, I was like, again, I mean, I told this story in the other episode, where I was watching it at a neighbor's house, and then a friend of ours, his older brother, was watching it, and it just seemed, and I would go to Rochester Book Center, and they were talking about, the Fourth Doctor and the Fifth Doctor. Actually, probably weren't talking about the Fifth Doctor yet. Well, maybe they were. In like 82, but they're talking about the different doctors and stuff up to that time, which was only 4, and to me I was like, what are they? I didn't really know what they're talking about. It just sounds like something. It was like when I hear like older people talk about Conan. It's just like, what is this older people thing that they keep talking about? I was like, I'm so intrigued. I want to know I want to know more. And of course, I just like Doctor Who, I can go down my Conan. I haven't really done my big foray into my Conan obsession as well, but there is that as well. I did have a very big Conan obsession with the novels, with the comics, Savage Sword of Conan, the movie, you name it, the whole 9 yards. Conan. And then, but yeah, this is like Conan. This is one of those things I would hear older people. When I say older people, it's probably like high school and like college age kids that worked there. Because they're older than me, obviously, but they didn't. I don't think they were super. They weren't like maybe they were in their 30s, possibly, but I think it was more nice. Anyways, I think it was more that they were. Probably college age-ish, or in their 20s. But they're talking about it. It's like, it intrigued me. Everything has just intrigued me. Like I said, without the internet, I had great places like the Rochester Public Library was a place I would hang out all the time. Like I said, this is coming from somebody who couldn't read. When all the other kids could read, and they could read, and they're reading for fun, and they're reading, and I was being told by the school to read all the time. I couldn't read. But I love books. I love the idea of reading. I just couldn't do it. I kind of like that way with the guitar, too. I love the idea of playing music. I'm just really shitty at it. The only thing, the thing I do excel at, obviously, is my art and drawing. So, that's probably the thing I'm most known for, the thing I also make my living at, and the thing that I'm probably the most proud of as far as the talent that I have. Playing music, not very great. Reading, not that that's a talent. I guess it's a talent, but am I a big reader? I guess it would appear so from the crap that I obsess about, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, I'm not much of a reader. I mean, seriously, to me, this is perfect for me, even as an adult. 100 and some pages. How many pages are in this book, actually? Just curious. Yeah, the whole book, which is just a novelization of the episode. Chapter 15, 126 pages. That's perfect. I guess a novella is more of what it would be than a novel, but this was par for the course back then. I mean, you would go into the bookstore and you'd find a lot of these 100, 150 page small series books. And sure, there was thousands of pages if you put the whole series together, but they're just all these little parts, all these little episodes. And I like that. Nowadays, it's just one book in a series is 1,000 pages. Really? I'm not going to read a 1,000-page book. And then there's 15 more to go. I'm not reading that much. But these are nice and digestible, small digestible chunks. And that's the way a lot of books were back then. But I couldn't do that as well, and I wanted to. So I kind of, weirdly enough, I just had daydreams and fantasies of being able to consume this stuff. Isn't that weird? But that's the way it was for me. I don't know. Maybe there's other people. If you're in the same boat, you have the same problems. Let me know, because I totally understand. But yeah, it's just I want to go where, like I said, I liked hanging out where adults were talking about stuff. I like to be around books and magazines and that type of stuff, and the toys. I mean, sure, I love going to the toy store, obviously, but I love being around all this stuff and listening to people talk about it, and and just being in the places, the buildings, just the library, or being in the bookstore, or being in these places, and then the journey to get there, whether I walked, whether I rode my bike, whether somebody took me, drove me there. To me, that as a kid, that was that was my adventures. We're doing that. That's why I love the summers. I love being off of school, because you had nothing to do. Sure, you can go play, but it's I can't play every day. Every day got kind of boring playing. I like to go on my little adventures. I like to get on my bike and just go, and with a backpack or whatever, or and a few dollars in my pocket, and what have you, and just bike lock on your bike and just go. Actually, I don't remember. I think I started locking my bike up after the first one I got stolen. I don't know if I showed you that. I found the bike. It was in that one catalog. But yeah, my first bike got stolen, and then my dad's like, "You're getting a bike lock." And then I started locking my bike up. But before that, I literally just ride my bike up to the store. I put the handle grip. I'd lean it against the brick, like Rochester Book Center. They had this window with books and stuff in it, and they had this brick sill. And I lean the grip of a BMX bike up against that brick, and I'd balance it so it wouldn't fall over, and then I'd just go inside, and I'd be in there for an hour. And then I'd come out, and the bike would still be there. I'd get on the bike, and I'd go. Or I'd go to the next destination, or maybe I'd move the bike around the corner. Sometimes I couldn't put it in the corner because the door was kind of close to the corner, but I would put it in certain spots and go into Kittyland too, and then Now Playing was there, and it was a great shopping. There's nothing there now. There ain't nothing. There's a Gordon food service. There used to be a Whole Foods there. I don't know what's there now in the corner, but it's probably all Reiki treatments and other bullshit. Superfluous, superfluous is not the best word, but just bullshit businesses run by bullshit people in, affluent white-collar towns with lots of housewives that like to go get their goofy Reiki, yoga, where you fill in the blank bullshit crap, right? That's pretty much what's in all these buildings now anymore. And I don't say that facetiously. I mean literally. I think that corner place where Kittyland was in Rochester Book Center, I think that is like a yoga studio. And I know Updog Yoga is where the old library is downtown Bay City, or sorry, downtown Rochester. So I'm not joking about that. That's literally what's in there. And then if you go to that, where the Hills Theater was, where all that other center, that little mini mall was, that's all like, like Reiki treatments and all this other, like, people spend their money on this bullshit. But anyways, yeah, I mean, all the good plus stuff's gone. Like I said, I'm keep beating the same drum every time I make a video or every time I talk to you guys. So I just keep complaining and bitching and moaning how everything's gone, and there's nothing left. It's like I said, I feel like the Knight Rider, in the beginning of Mad Max. It's all gone. It's all gone. But yeah, sorry, I went on another big diatribe. Okay, last thing I want to touch on real quick, outside of the books here, is I'll pull it up here. Also, same place, you can go to the archives and pull these up as well. It's kind of the same way. Is the magazine. I don't know if you remember this. Doctor Who Weekly was literally a weekly magazine, because they just kept, it's like I kept seeing new issues all the time. I don't even think it even dawned on me until I was like in high school. It's like, oh, it's weekly. That's why it comes out so many times. But this used to be at Rochester Book Center. It used to be a Fireside. It was right alongside with all the other magazines I talk about. Starlog, Fangoria, Savage Sword of Conan, Heavy Metal. I just keep going on with these magazines that I loved. But Doctor Who Weekly used to be there. And, obviously, once I saw, the Doctor on there, I was like, oh, what's this? And I would pick it up and I would obviously peruse them a lot. I don't think I bought... I really didn't buy a lot of those magazines back then. I would more just look at them and read them look at the pictures. Back when I was, at the newsstand, I really didn't have a lot of them. But here, I'll show you. Again, we'll open this up. It's a PDF, but I'll open it up here. Sorry. Okay. So it was cool. It was a neat little magazine that would come out. There would be, this is a weird scan of it, but there was a lot of comic in it. And here was the thing that drew me in, was this. And this is the other, when it comes to like, oh, look at that Dave Gibbons. I was going to say, who does the art? Is it Dave Gibbons? Yeah, that's right there, Dave Gibbons. So Dave Gibbons, I don't know if you know who that is, but of course he's the guy who did The Watchmen. He illustrated The Watchmen. Neil, what's his face? Alan Moore wrote it. Again, I'm not a big Alan Moore fan, but I do like Dave Gibbons' art. What I like about Dave Gibbons is Rogue Trader, not Rogue Trader, so that's Warhammer. Again, having corrupted files in my head again. Rogue Trooper, sorry, which is like a 2000 AD thing. And this magazine, because it was British, is very 2000 AD, and I used to love looking at the art, and especially in this time period too. It was just so dense, so British too, but so dense and so like cool. I mean, it didn't look like stuff from America. It was all black and white for the most part. And then when you saw, I'd crack this open and I'd see, like, oh, that's the Doctor. Like, that looks like him. Or these crazy... this is really good art. Dave Gibbons... the Watchmen's good. The Watchmen's not really known for its really good art, but his other artwork, especially when you see the stuff in black and white, or when he's specifically drawing for black and white, meaning it's not going to be colored, his uses of blacks and his dense panels. Remember, I guess I kind of went off about I don't like dense panels. It all depends on who's doing it. But these are amazing. Look at that panel. It's just awesome. Doctor looks great. He's got all these, he draws all this, tech and stuff. I just love this as a kid, just seeing this stuff. Just outstanding art. And they kind of feature them in these magazines. Like I said, the photos are a little wibbly for the scan, but for the most part, you can read the stuff in here. There's more of the art here. Is this still Dave Gibbons, or is this, oh wow, script script by Chris Claremont. That's interesting. No, the art's by Young Montano and Dino Castrillo. I don't know those names. And not as strong as Gibbons' work, although she looks nice. Good X-Men mansion there. Yeah, it seems great. Great drawing. Great, nice drawing. Again, getting into some more of the stuff. So that's pretty much you get. And then you get look at that. That's an awesome drawing there. Who's the art in this? Doesn't have. So you don't see the credits. Maybe they're at the end of it. It doesn't look like Gibbons. Let's just say that it's Gibbons. It might just be a continuation. I don't know. It doesn't look credited. It's probably in the index in the beginning. But so that's what you get. You get this. You don't get a lot, but you get like a few pages of comic. You get some, few articles and stuff on different episodes or various things, or maybe a spotlight. Just like a magazine. Spotlight on a character or an actor or whatever, and that's what you'd get. And it was pretty cool. This is the first 50, which is basically 79 when it started. So it started during the fourth Doctor, and it goes up until. I think it goes. Well, I've got 80 in that episode. Obviously, that's Invasion of Time with where they're on. Invasion of Time where they're on Gallifrey. I said last Leela episode. So they talk about that in there. But yeah, like I said, I gotta go back and I'm gonna start reading some of this art, some of this old comic. With what's his face, especially the Dave Gibbons stuff. That stuff really appeals to me. There's Dave Gibbons there. Yeah, he did some great black and white stuff. Like I said, I think he's very underrated as a comic book artist. We saw him. I wish I would have known this stuff existed. I mean, I knew it existed, but I didn't know if that's who it was. But Dave Gibbons did a panel at the Motor City Comic Con, and me and my other friends who are big Watchmen people, we listened to his whole panel and him talk, and one thing I thought was kind of funny, I gotta tell this story. And of course my buddy will probably watch this and he'll be like, when I was there. But we did a comic, and me and my friend, those guys, and I did this cover, and I made the cover like all stark white, and just the characters like running at the camera, and no background, just a white. Because I thought that, I've seen that style before, and I've seen that on a lot of comics, and it just seems very jumps off the page. It really, when you look at it on the shelf, it really jumps at you, and I really liked that, right? And Dave Gibbons did the program cover for that specific convention that year, and he's talking about doing the drawing in the panel, and he says, yeah, he goes, and I wanted like a bunch of the characters all like in a all-white background. He's basically just saying exactly what I just said to my friends, which my friends, they didn't want me to do that. Like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? That's a dumb idea, right? And they, of course, they love Dave Gibbons because they love Watchmen. And yes, they just look at me, and I'm looking at them going like, it's a dumb idea, isn't it? I still like that story. But anyways, yeah, so he was there, and like I said, I wish I would have known. I know he did Rogue Trooper and The Watchmen. That's about all I knew that Dave Gibbons did, but I wish I would have known that he did this Doctor Who stuff. I mean, I guess it probably, if I was to think about it hard enough, I'd probably go, I bet you he did some Doctor Who stuff, just because he was doing a lot of illustrations and stuff in 2000 AD, and this stuff is very 2000 AD. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. So again, these are all available on that archive site. I think every issue, and they go up, because I know when I was watching the Sylvester McCoy episodes when I was in high school, and that was new. I remember you could get Doctor Who Weekly. They had it at Comics Corner there, and you could pick up. And I remember seeing, the Sylvester McCoy and Mel and Ace and everything in those books. And I think I did get a few of those issues then. But yeah, like I said, I love the novelizations. I love the magazines. I love the comics. I love trading cards. I mean, I love all that stuff. I just wish that, they would... I don't know exactly what I wish for. So I'll go back to, I'm gonna end the video here in a second, but I'm just gonna leave you on this thought here. I don't know exactly what I'm wishing for. I wish there was a property, whether a movie, probably more a TV show. I wish there was something that was out that had a lot of episodes to it. Didn't just have 5 episodes a season on Netflix that they drop all at once. Something that's I can look forward to every week. And I know Disney Plus drops their stuff weekly, which is good. I like that. I don't want to watch it all at once. I want to be able to have some time to digest that last episode and look forward to something the following week. But I don't want it like 8 weeks and it's over. 2 months and it's over. It's like, can this go at least 3 months? A season, which would be nice. Which is what it's 12 episodes. Can it just go 12 episodes? I think 13 used to be the standard. For network TV shows, and of course, syndicated TV shows, they had to have a lot more because they were showing them, 5 days a week. But can we just do a weekly 12 episode or 13 episode, whatever season, and then, it would be nice to be able to have them do a new season every season, But I don't think that's going to happen. But, even if one season for the year, like this, let's do, what are the normal seasons? There's the fall season and what is it, the winter season, I think are the two big, or the spring. It's fall and winter, I think, are the two big season drops. It used to be back in the day for network TV. It would be nice if they would just do that. And you had, a nice 45-minute or whatever to an hour-long program once a week that I like, that I enjoy. That's not a bunch of woke bullshit. That's written well. It doesn't have to be written amazing. It doesn't have to be like the greatest thing. I mean, these Doctor Who episodes are written well, but they're not like, they are what they are. I mean, just do a show like that. I know Doctor Who's still out. I know they're still doing the Doctor, and I don't want to get into the whole thing about it, but I lost interest after Matt Smith left. Clara, I think she was the last. I like Clara, but she was the last companion. And after Clara left, I was just kind of like, or I don't know if she left or what was going on. Actually, I can't remember. But I didn't like the older guy that played the Doctor. He just seemed kind of weird. I liked Matt Smith, and then. So the show was fine, and then it just got a little weird. But like I said, I said this before, or maybe I said this to somebody who asked me some questions about Doctor Who, but I like when it's shot on video. I like it when it looks like a soap opera. I like when it looks cheap. I mean, that seems dumb to say, but I mean, I like when they had a limited budget. I like when it was the BBC and it's the late 70s, or into the 80s, and everything looked like it was shot on video, which I think it was shot on video. And it was definite, like, really bad sets, and the creatures were just over the top, but totally ridiculous looking, and the special effects were limited, and it all looked like a play, like a stage play almost. I mean, it had this feel to it, especially the Tom Baker episodes. They had a specific feel to them, and I find that's lost on the new stuff, because the new stuff is too good looking. It's too... When I say new, I mean like since Chris Eccleston. Everything just looks like a new TV show with new special effects and everything. And I know there's people out there like, what are you talking about? The old stuff sucks. The new stuff's, so much better for that reason. I beg to differ. It just doesn't have the same feel. And I'd like to have a show. Let's bring the Doctor back to being like a 40-year-old middle-aged dude. I don't care if he's black. You can make him whatever your diversity you want. You can make him Asian. I don't care. Hispanic, whatever. I would prefer to some white British guy, some stuffy, poncy, whatever you call it, prog rock guy, some prog rock bass player. That's what I'd want for my Doctor. you know, and then make the girl an attractive young girl in her 20s for the companion. Go back to basics. Shoot it on whatever, shoot it on video. Of course, now if it's shot on a video, they're going to use 4K video cameras, and it's going to look pristine. It's just like, oh. And then it's like, oh. The problem is, then it will look really cheap. But back when the video technology was a little wonky, it kind of things didn't look as cheap. I don't know. I'm asking for too much because none of this is going to happen. But I'm just saying, I like that. Put out a magazine that I could subscribe to or go buy on a newsstand. Put out some trading cards. I can go buy some wax packs and eat the stale gum. And put together a trading card collection. Put together a Marvel or whatever, a 2080. This doesn't have to be Doctor Who. This could be anything. Even if it's Star Wars, even to do another Star Wars show, not whatever the crap that's coming out. I don't know. I liked all this stuff. Make everything simple and make everything the way it used to be. I guess I'm being just as crazy as South Park's Kathleen Kennedy. Make her a woman, make her gay. Make it simple, make it old looking. Same thing. But whatever. I'm just saying that's the stuff that I like. And like I said, maybe something will come along the lines that I like. This probably isn't the best place to mention this real quick before I go, because if you're watching for Doctor Who, you probably could care less about the Ace Frehley stuff, but if anybody of the Ace Frehley stuff end up watching this video, especially to the end, which I know they won't, I did hear the new Ace Frehley album, the 10,000 Volts. I listened to it this morning on YouTube Music while I was working. I'm not going to buy the album. I think it's... I guess I need to make a video on it. I got to listen to it again. I mean, I know somebody already jumped on it, made a video on it this morning already. It's just like, I don't have to be the first one to review the Ace Frehley album. Maybe I'll give it another go and see what I think about it for sure. But right off the bat, here I go again. It sounds too new. It doesn't sound like... It doesn't have any balls. There's no grapes to it. It just sounds like Smash Mouth meets Blink-182 from like the early 2000s, and then with Ace Frehley's lyrics over the top of it, which there's so many weird things with his voice that's like, sometimes I feel like, is he really, I know he said he's sober, but he sounds drunk when he's recording it, like the slur and this word. I know he's 75 years old, but I mean, it's just like, it sounds like he's like got like hard candy. He's got cherry medicine. No, he's got hard candy in his mouth. He's rolling around like a halls or something while he's singing. He's like, like the hall. I don't know. I find it. I find him to be harder and harder to listen to, even talk. Because I watched an interview with him that he did like 2 days ago, and I don't know. I don't know if I like the guy anymore. That's what it comes down to. Let me keep my 1978 Ace the way he was. Just like I want to keep my 1978 Tom Baker the way he was, and my 1978 Leela the way they were. I don't want to see these people old. I don't want to see these people, whatever. I want to see these people in their prime doing what they do best. And that's how I'd like to remember these things. If it means never having anything new by these people, because obviously you can't go back in time unless you have a TARDIS to redo this. It ain't going to happen. So just enjoy what's out there, what's already been created, and just continue to enjoy it. That's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to let you go on that one. Remember, like and subscribe, all that yada, yada, yada business. What was I going to say? I can't remember. I guess it wasn't important. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one, and I'll see you later.